Hello, everyone. Welcome inside the Red Earth Production Studios for this edition of YBM Cast, powered by Game 7 Baseball, game7baseball.com. Get your team registered. Get your teams set up for a summer of, I should say, spring and summer of fun. If you go a little early, it's a little cold, but April's nice, May's nice, June, it's hot. And then we finish off with the World Series. Game7baseball.com. Register your team and let's get going. But also today, though, we're talking high school baseball. We got the GAC preview continuing. St. Charles High School head coach Brad Bickle.
Correct. Yep.
I remembered.
Bickle. Yep, that's right.
I know. I saw you going, he's going to mess it up.
It's like I wonder if I should remind them.
Hey, sometimes, you know.
Yeah. No, that's all right.
Coach, how's it going?
It's good. It's good. I am ready for season now, actually. Like, ready for January as just open gyms. And, you know, guys have been in the weight room a lot lately, but ready to start doing some baseball activities. So, looking forward to that.
I get it. You guys are still what? About a month and a half away. Start in February. Is that what it is?
First day of practice, February 26th. We can start baseball activities in January. So,
okay.
Yeah, so we can start, 3 hours a week starting in January. We can get together.
St. Charles is an older school.
Yeah. Yes.
Facility-wise, how do you guys make that work?
I tell you what, our gym is pretty big. Mm-hmm. When the bleachers are pushed in, we have a drop-down cage, a 90-foot cage that we can use. I have a divider that I can put in there, so 2 45-foot cages. We have a Hack Attack pitching machine in there that we bought last year from fundraising. So we can do a full infield, we can do a full cage, we can do live ABs. So I feel pretty fortunate with what we have as far as facilities within our building. Now we don't have a real baseball field at our campus, so give and take a little bit there. But as far as indoor facilities with open gyms and things like that, we have a pretty good setup. So I don't have many complaints there. We have new bleachers, so we typically use indoor baseballs, something that won't damage the bleachers when we're playing catch and things like that. But in the cages, we use real baseballs and, swing away. So
hopefully, if you catch the ball, it won't hurt the bleachers.
Well, yeah, you're supposed to catch the ball, right? Playing catch is the most important thing, and you don't always do that very well, especially with the young guys.
We were talking about that. It's something that I think, just that basic fundamental, right? Hitting a guy in the chest, catch it every single time.
Yeah, exactly. You show up to tryouts and you see, okay, who can play catch?
Right.
Who can throw and catch the ball? Right there, you have your first initial tryout, just seeing who looks the part and who can catch the ball and throw the ball.
There you go, guys. So. Make sure.
Yeah, exactly. And don't go through emotions. I mean, it's done for a purpose. So,
I think, and if I know Winfield used to be. I think they have one on campus now. They have a field on campus. You're the only school I think left that doesn't have a field on campus, right?
Yeah, we're an old school with this, surrounded by houses in our community, and so there's just no
space.
No space. So fortunately, Blanchette Park is where we've played our home games forever.
Right.
They've made some big improvements with the field, new dugouts, cages. The playing surface is getting better. I saw them. Looks like they're rebuilding the mound when I drove by the field the other day. So they're working on it. So
it was always one of the higher mounds.
It was high, and then a couple years ago there was no mound, and then you kind of fall off the back of the mound. But last year it was pretty good. So for the past 2 years it's been decent, and then it looks like they're redoing it this year. And we got a brand new scoreboard. Myself, the St. Charles Legion, and the Parks Department, we all went in together and bought a brand new scoreboard for us to use. So
that's cool.
Which is, you have to have a scoreboard.
Yeah, it needed it.
Yeah,
it needed an upgrade.
For sure.
Do you guys, field care, man, and field maintenance and making those things, it's not as easy. It's just not easy, period.
No, and that's the thing. It's like the Parks handles all that for us. So that's nice that we don't have to do any field maintenance. They don't want us touching it. So, pick up the trash, make sure things are cleaned. But as far as like dragging the field, lining it, fixing the mounds, the bullpens, the home plate, like they don't let us touch it. So, on one hand, it's nice not to have to worry about that, after practice, after games. But on the other hand, it doesn't give my players that opportunity to take ownership.
I agree.
Of that field. So.
let them do it. Let the kids work, man. It's all right. They need to own that. Absolutely. I'm with you that way.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Get a rake. It's good for them.
Right, exactly.
You guys have lights out there, though,
We
too,
do have
don't
lights,
you?
yeah.
Do you ever play any night games?
Not typically. What we'll do sometimes is we'll do a varsity game and the JV games backs up after that. So we do run into some night games a little bit with that, but we typically don't schedule many 6:30 games for varsity.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Interesting, though. It's lights. One of the few with lights, and so that's always interesting to me.
We hosted the Jamboree last year. That went a little long time-wise, but so on occasion we have to turn on the lights if the games are lasting long.
Yeah.
But
because it's early in the year still.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. Let's talk about last year when we talked in the preview. You were hopeful, had some issues you were dealing with. That 3-7 in the GAC North. You were 10-21 overall.
Yep.
But you didn't lose a lot of kids. You lost a couple of dudes, though.
Yeah.
And Toby Goodwin and Maddox Meyer.
Yeah. First team All-State guy, second team All-State guy. Maddox was first team. Toby was second team All-State, Class 5. Toby is junior, was first team All-State, Class 4. We lost number one with Nick Pugh going off to college, and those guys are all playing college ball now. We lost some dudes. But if you look at our roster last year, we had a ton of sophomores playing at the varsity level and contributing. So, we lost some really good players, but our sophomores that started on varsity last year for us, those guys are going to be juniors. Those guys have already experienced varsity baseball. So I expect those guys to make a big jump from what they did last year.
You got some guys returning offensively that, is it Dorlock?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Didn't want to mispronounce his name, but
Carter. Yep.
Carter Dorlock, 329, 470, 390, 11 runs, 9 RBI. He had 3 doubles, a triple, so it shows he's got some speed.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Zach Williamson, 271 with 48 plate appearances. Those are the seniors.
Yeah, those are 2 of my seniors. Yep.
That, had some run for you there, but your strength is in your juniors.
Yes.
Mason Hickerson, Caden Hammer, Nate Mosley. Hickerson, 428.
Yeah, second team all-conference this past year as a sophomore, outfielder. Just you can tell with him just when he's not right, like our assistant coach picks up immediately when he's just not right in his stance, and he'll just say one little word and make that correction, and then he just hits line drives. I mean, that's what he does. And with 2 strikes, like his approach is very simple. Just battle until you get pitched a hit, and then he hits a lot to right field with 2 strikes. That's kind of his approach. So it keeps it simple.
His OPS, approaching 1,000.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. 18 RBI, 16 runs. That's good run production.
Yeah.
And then Caden, right?
Caden Hammer, yeah.
I mean, he had 26 RBI in that 357, so he's producing in that role as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Good RBI guy. Not real fast. If you see him, he's kind of a big guy, first baseman. But he usually finds his pitch to hit, and it's usually a line drive up the middle for him. Again, speed is not his game, but
that's okay.
Good approach, good at bats, and just finds a way to get the job done.
Hey, if you're driving in 26 runs,
exactly.
Right? I'll take that.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll take that all day. So, and these guys are like these juniors and my seniors are a great group of guys. So it helps.
And you got Nate Mosley, 308. He had 9 runs, 11 RBI, 6 doubles. And the other 2 guys that I looked at, Braden Reed, Caleb McCullum, they had good numbers.
Yeah.
It was a small sample size, though.
Yeah. Brady was our 9-hole hitter last year, and he was just like a scrappy hitter for us. He'd battle. Like he would always work the count. We treated him as like a second leadoff in our 9-hole spot. He's a guy that can pretty much hit anywhere in the lineup. Kind of played all over the field for us, second base, outfield, play some third base. This year I project him kind of being our shortstop. Just a good utility guy. Just good. Knows the game. Knows the game. Not going to be overwhelmed. He caught for us a little bit last year. He'll have to pitch for us more this year. Didn't get much run on the mound, but we'll have some guys that will need to step up on the mound. So
defensively, errors and things of that nature when the offense starts putting. Where do you see your guys here now? If you're shortstop catcher, do you know who's going to be catching where, or an idea to build that strength up the middle?
Yeah. So last year we had Brady caught a little bit for us, just a little bit, but Carter Dorlock was our main catcher. Catching is not his primary position. Carter's signed to play outfield at East Central Community College next year.
Very good.
So he's more of an outfielder, but he was second team all-conference utility, I believe, and
he was
first or second. I don't remember off the top of my head, but he's a guy that can play every position on the field. He'll do it all. He can do it all really well. So, but as far as catcher goes, I have a freshman kid coming in that I hope he wins the job because he's a talented player. His name's Nick, and he'll have a shot at it. So he's got to beat Carter out right now. I mean, Carter will do whatever I ask. And for our team to be as successful as I think we can be, having Carter out, being that super utility guy or playing multiple positions for us will be beneficial for our team. So
so if you got and I love that. So as a freshman, if you know that, come in, be confident, right?
Absolutely. He's this Nick's got a shot at the job. If he comes out and performs well, and he's pretty talented kid. So
and that's tough because you've got you lost, as you said, Nick Pugh, and your pitching is going to be a source of who's going to be there. Your top two guys you got coming back, Mosley and Myers. ERA's not great,
right?
So where are you looking to get that? And then if you do have a freshman catcher, that makes for an interesting dynamic, doesn't it?
Yeah, and really, I've seen him call games before, so I know how intelligent he is behind the plate. So I'm not worried about that.
Okay.
But you talk about our pitching staff, and our numbers don't look very good, like what we have coming back. Jacob Myers, he's an extremely hard worker. He was our number 2 last year. Hopefully steps up and takes that number 1 job this year. He's an ultimate competitor. Like from an arm care, from a prep standpoint, I'm not sure if, I've had a kid like him before as far as taking care of his body, taking care of, make sure he's ready to go.
Right.
So Jacob hopefully will steps up for us. Zach pitched a little bit for us last year. We'll need him to step up as a senior and log more innings, be more consistent. Nate Mosley was a strong pitcher for us. Again, the ERA doesn't look great, but he's a heck of a competitor. He gives a shot to win whenever he's on the mound. And we'll have a couple other guys like Brady Reed, Carter Dorlock, Caden Hammer, some guys that will need to step up and help fill in, losing Nick and some other spots. So we had a senior reliever last year, Caleb Mertz, who did a fantastic job for us. So he's kind of our long relief guy. So we'll need a guy to fill that spot. So I have pitching. When you look at other teams in the JC North, like, Gary at West, Morris or Creech at Winfield, Peth at Warrenton, McQuarrie at North Point, like those are some dudes. Like those are some really good guys, really good pitchers. So we're gonna need some guys to step up and compete against those guys, especially on those Tuesday JC conference games, right?
It's the GAC gets a lot of pub because of the South with the Howell, the West, Timberland, the Central, of course, with South, Liberty. I mean, these are big time schools.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. It's you just said that. St. Charles West, Winfield. Winfield's got most of their dudes back.
Yeah, they do. And they won their conference last year.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And Warrenton always competes hard. And then you got North Point that's getting better.
Yeah. Yeah, and Justin at North Point, their coach does a great job with their guys. But, you said Warrenton, they always compete. Man, those guys they're tough. I mean,
they're dogs.
They really are. So there's no easy team in our conference. Orchard Farm is going to keep getting better. That's not an easy game against those guys. So the JC North is no
Hey, and
slouch.
Orchard Farm got to the district final last year.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're a Class 4 school.
Yeah.
And they competed hard. And you think about their road playing a lot of Class 5 schools and then winning their district.
Yeah.
I think that shows a testament to how good the GAC North is.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when you're putting yourself in that position, so you've really got to have your ducks in a row heading into this conference schedule.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you got a couple non-conference games to start the season off. You got to hopefully figure out kind of your lineup, and you have an idea going into it, but see who steps up right away and takes advantage of those opportunities.
So you talked about the freshmen having that opportunity. Who else? And do you have it? You got the juniors. Do you have any sophomores? Anybody that's looking to?
Yeah, I'm going to talk about the juniors real quick. I have Caleb McCullen. I think we mentioned him briefly. He was a sophomore last year. Got a few varsity at bats. Probably deserved more varsity at bats than what he got. The kid's got some unreal power, and he showed it off on the JV level. Now we'll need to see that on the varsity level, but he's a guy that will hit in the middle of the lineup for us as a junior. So probably could have got more opportunities last year, but we hit so well, in our lineup. Like I didn't want to take guys out, and so it just kind of numbers wise didn't help him. But I expect him to step up. Sophomores wise, we have a kid named Hunter Broad who's hit really well at the JV level as a freshman. Got an inning or a game at the varsity level last year for us. So he'll get playing time on varsity. He'll get some starts and be a key contributor for us. He's a super talented kid. So with him and maybe a few other sophomores get some looks. And then my freshman class, I got a really good freshman class this year. So there may be some guys who at the freshman level compete for varsity time. I got there's some talent there for me. I'm really excited about those guys. So
very good.
We'll see.
Very good.
And then, a couple seniors. So we have 4 seniors. I know we talked about Jacob Carter, Zach, we mentioned, a kid named Gavin Vaughn, who didn't get much playing time last year for us. Has a really good swing, just needs more experience and just unfortunately didn't get a ton of at-bats last year. So hopefully this year he'll be filling in some DH opportunities, some second base for us here and there. But he's got a good swing. He's really improved. So hopefully get him more at-bats this year and let him contribute. He's a courtesy runner for us basically every game last year, so he knows the game. Just needs more at bats. So
very good. You guys, tough season ending, but it looks like you're young.
Yeah.
Are you? Do you think this team right here, as it is, you think you got a good an opportunity to compete for the title?
Yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely. And I look at our conference, and it's a tough conference.
Yeah.
And that we just talked about that a little bit. Winning is hard, and 2 years ago we only had like 4 wins. Last year we moved to 10 wins. There's some games that we let get away from us. So that's a learning experience that we experienced last year because we probably could have been 500 last year if we didn't blow a couple games. So we just need to keep building off that. So we're starting to learn how to win. It takes time.
Sure.
So I think we're going to have a better season this year than we did last year. So that's the goal, is keep building and keep improving. So our culture is fantastic. That's really what I'm most proud about right now is the culture that our guys have helped develop. So obviously we talked about a couple years ago, had some issues that we had to deal with within our program. And last year, honestly, it was a joy to coach those guys last year. And the guys that we got coming back are great kids. So I'm really looking forward to this team that I have.
I love that.
So
I love that. And that's the thing. You got to look at progress because you said, I don't care what level you play. It's hard to win.
It is, yeah. Yeah, it's a lot easier to lose. So not as much fun, though.
No, it isn't.
So,
you guys playing any tournaments this year, Coach?
So we'll open up at CarShield. It's not really a tournament. It's just the St. Louis Patriots guy set it up. So we'll play 3 games at CarShield to open up the weekend of opening weekend. And then the one tournament that we were in last year isn't happening, but we'll play some of the same opponents that same weekend. It's just not a tournament. So
gotcha.
We have 32 games scheduled right now.
Oh, wow.
So that's, if we play 36, you got to have pitching for the full 36. So we played 31 last year. And probably could play a little bit more, actually, because there's some pitchers that didn't get as much work as they probably needed. So I feel like with the team I have this year, we have enough pitching to play 32 games. So
very good.
So
very good. 32 games, man. That's a lot. It is because, like you said, pitching. And talk to us a little bit about this as we finish up, because I think it's interesting. You know, you guys are a Class 5 school, but you're on the lower end of the population scale. Am I right?
I mean, we go back and forth between Class 4 and Class 5. So the past 4 years, we've alternated classes. So we'll find out that March 15th or whatever that
whatever the day is.
Whatever that day is, first game.
You might have even played a couple of games already.
Yeah. So we'll find out that Friday what class we are, because I really don't know.
Right.
So I have a game scheduled the day that Class 4 districts start. So if I'm Class 5, I can play that game. If I'm Class 4, I have to cancel that game when we start district play. So
is that right?
Because Class 5 is like a week later or a couple of days later. So of when districts start. So
there's rules to that.
Yeah. It's just, you know, I don't. If our district game for Class 4 starts on Saturday, I don't really want to play that Friday. The game the day before. So make sure I was rested and ready to go. But we'll see. We'll see what class we are. Makes no difference. You know, we play a ton of Class 5 schools, anyways.
Sure.
So and we were Class 5 last year, so you know we're always ready to compete. So
there you go.
Whether Class 4 or Class 5, there's talent everywhere. So it doesn't really matter.
And you know, I don't know what the threshold is. I don't know where it's at exactly. I've looked around here and there, but you know, it's tough. You know, when I know certain schools are at that. Like it was because Zumwalt South dealt with that. They were putting that Class 6.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was like by 50 dudes.
Yeah, exactly.
50 people.
That's where we're at with Class 5. We're like right at the very bottom, and it can go either way. So.
And I don't care. I know you go out and compete, and I love what you said, and I think you should.
Yeah.
But it would be nice to be at the top of the heap there a little bit.
No, for sure, for sure. No, I agree. I wouldn't be too disappointed for Class 4, but if we're Class 5, let's go. We'll
got to go play.
We'll play the best ball we can and see. Yeah. You know, last year Class 5 against Zumwalt South, first round of districts, like. We were there in the game. It was like a 3-2 game all the way until the 5th, and then kind of the wheels fell off on us a little bit there, and we ended up getting 10 run. But we gave them a scare for first 4 innings, and then, you know, and then things went.
Well, at least you know they went to the Final Four.
Yeah, well, Zumwalt South is really good, and Coach Friedel there does a great job with those guys. So.
Yeah. So that's cool. And I think that's the interesting part, too, is most of the time you are in a district with teams you're very familiar with.
Yeah.
So I think that's good.
Yeah.
Coach, what's the message you want to send to your players for the upcoming season?
Just keep building off what we've been doing. Like I said, the culture has really improved. I have a great group of guys. When things aren't going well, we got to rely on our culture. We got to rely on our work ethic and not let things spiral on us. You know, we had a couple games last year where we had a bad inning, and then all of a sudden that turned into 2 bad innings and poor defensive mistakes, and then we kind of shut down a little bit. So not letting something negative impact us the rest of the game. So and you deal with that a lot. We play a lot of sophomores and freshmen, you know, in the varsity game. Yeah. You know, there's some maturity that needs to take place, and those guys are going to be more mature this year, just being a year into varsity baseball. And so just keep focused on the positive things that we're doing. And just trust that wins will be there, and as long as we're competing, we'll have a shot.
Outstanding. Folks, Brad Bickle, head coach, St. Charles High School Pirates.
The Pirates, yep.
Got it all,
yeah,
man. I'm working it. Coach, appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
No, man, it's a pleasure. I love doing this part because it gets us going into the baseball season, and we can start looking and – you know, I can start doing my predictions, even though if I'm wrong, I don't care if I'm wrong.
Right. Yeah, no, it's fun to do, and it's you know, you look at each conference and you think, okay, who's really good, who won last year and things like that, and it's just fun to.
Yeah, I like getting oh man, you're crazy. There's no way that's going to be that.
Yeah.
You know, I think I had one right last year.
Yeah, I mean that's. I don't know if I had any, but that's
10%. You know, 10% is always good. I guess it's just fun. It's great to talk to you know, the people and the kids and just have some fun. We'll see you out at the GAC Classic.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
And gonna have some fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good day. I think we have Winfield on schedule that day again, so it's gonna be a tough game, obviously. Being the former returning GAC North champs, but our conference is tough, and I look forward to competing.
There you
The
go.
good thing is I like those coaches too, so it's
Yeah, Coach
it's fun to
Stokes.
compete against those guys. Both, all the schools in GAC. So
Absolutely. Folks, thanks for tuning in. We do appreciate it. Please, if you have any comments, put them below. Tell us what you think. We'd love to hear from you. While you're here, if you haven't done it yet, hit the subscribe button. Next to it is the dinger, because that's what we do. We hit dingers. And that gets you all your notifications for upcoming episodes such as this. We hope you enjoyed it. Hey, while you're here, stop by our merch store on our website. It helps us keep this thing going. youthbaseballmidwest.com. We appreciate it very much. Everybody have a great day in the Lord. All you pitchers, keep throwing strikes. And hitters, Coach, advice for the hitters.
have an approach.
I like it. Have an approach. Bonus.
Yeah.
We'll see y'all next time.